I am your host, the Random Hero, on another random day. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go over a website that I like very much, actually, and I've been using for quite a while. And I've talked in the past about Last FM, trying to find new artists. Well, this site is great for that in the fact that if you want to find a new artist, yeah, you're definitely in the right place because a lot of these are, most of, I think, if not all these artists are independent artists, and it just allows you to find whatever you're looking for, whatever genre that is, whatever type of music it is. Now, you can see here, so this is my current library of stuff that I have purchased over the little while that I've been on the site. And you'll notice, so for instance, I just recently found this band here, Capstan, which is very, very good. Depending on which kind of music you like, of course. But if you go on here, you can follow them just like you would on any social media. If you think of Bandcamp like a social media of music, in a way, that's kind of what it is. But what you can do, let's say for instance this album here, which I do own, you could go in and buy the tracks. Now, so there's other people here that follow that specific band as well. So I'm gonna go to something that I don't have, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now we can scroll down here. They got the trending stuff, the selling right now, stuff like that. Let's say we wanted to, let's say metal, and we'll no, let's do rock, and then we'll do progressive rock, right? So we have stuff that automatically pops up. We could just play that. So if I wanted to check this out, I could just hit play on here. It'll start playing the music. But if I wanted to check out this artist, so I can, let's just say Ruby the Hatchet, right? So now I can see this album's $5. So if you scroll down, it'll show you, and these are all digital, but you can get not only MP3s, but you can get the FLAC version, the lossless audio stuff. You can also buy their merchandise for the band. You can get T-shirts, whatever. I've had bands hit me up after I have purchased their stuff, offering me, like a T-shirt or something like that, just for supporting them. You know what I mean? And it's not that I'm looking for that, because honestly, I'm just looking for good music. Uh, but whatever you want to find on here, there's just so many artists, and it just allows you. So let's say we're looking for jazz, right? They have all different kinds of jazz. You can go to, let's say, for instance, this artist here, right? Quinn Kirchner. So if I go down, they'll have other stuff that you may like based on that particular artist. Which again, it's kind of like Last Step in a way, because it's a recommend type thing, and that's just, it's one of those things where usually it's similar to that. And again, it's just one of those things where you can just find a lot of stuff that's very similar. So let's say we want to go to Discover. And another thing too is, like if I go to my collection, right? Um, I have certain, you have people that you follow, or people that follow you. You have people that you follow, whether it's the band, um, whoever it is. You can follow different people also. Um, and let's say there's someone on the site that likes a lot of stuff that's similar to what you like. Uh, let's say like this dude here, right? This dude has a lot of bands, whether guys or girls, right? That he follows that I'm into. So I just followed him to be able to follow, look in his list, check out what he's got, as far as these different bands, and check them out. And it's easy as, there's so many bands that you find that, there's bands that I've liked, that have CDs out that I didn't even know about, because honestly, it's one of those things where you don't realize that those were, not unreleased, but independently released. For instance, this album here, The Story So Far, is a great band. I've never even heard of this CD, but I got it because it was released a couple years ago, and clearly it was an independent label. So Picked it up, great album. But again, I never knew about it. And there's so many bands that you find yourself where you're like, holy crap, right? I mean, it's so good. And again, like Capstan, uh, this girl right here is super good. Like this is instrumental, with guitars, drums, and whatnot. She is really, really good. Um, Definitely recommend that if you're into instrumental stuff. I can't play any of this stuff. I don't want to get flagged. But Distant Dream is kind of the same thing. It's kind of metal instrumental, but really, really good. Um, but I would definitely recommend checking this out if you're looking for new music, if you're just interested, uh, because of the different things you see. So, and again, it's one of those where it's kind of like a wormhole of sorts, because you find yourself like, oh crap, man, this CD is so good, but then you see another one, you're like, oh man, this one's good too, right? So you just kind of like, well, it's only a couple bucks, only a couple bucks, right? So you find yourself just constantly getting new stuff, and but that's the fun in it, to me anyways, because I am a big time music person. So like this band here, The Burden, I've never heard of before. Super good, in my opinion, of course, and a lot of other people's too. And you can see here in 15 other collections. So if you click on that, you'll see the people that have them in their collections. Then you can see what else they have in their collection, right? So that way you're like, oh man, like I've never heard of them. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. I would definitely recommend Bandcamp.com for sure. Because you know the first thing you think of, right? Bandcamp, you think of American Pie, right? One time at Bandcamp, it's just that's what you always think of. But it's so good, such a good site. Highly recommended. And again, these bands, they're the bands that you just don't hear about. You have all these artists that are on the radio that everyone sounds the same. A lot of the stuff is just generic, following the trend, doing what everybody else does. And you will get some of that on here, of course, because those they kind of feel like that's what they're going for. They're trying to be uh, like other people. That way they can, um, I get guess get notoriety of sorts, just by doing something that's similar. And I don't know. I mean, because again, it's you can ultimately you want to have your own sound, but you can kind of emulate others. If and it works, it just the singer, the band can live and die with the singer, really. Because I've heard so many bands where the beat's just so good, and then the singer comes, you're like, wow, okay, well that's ruined now. So let's move on. But yeah, so definitely recommend it. They have all types of music, all of them. Like I said before, down here, there's all kinds of stuff, and there's you got your podcast, you got your reggae, classical, everything. Um, definitely worth checking out. So, I mean, that's really all I got to say about it. You can add stuff to your wish list. That way, you'll remember when it comes out. And they typically, so I have this one in my wish list right now, kind of on the edge if I'm going to buy this one or not. We'll see. Um, but it's one of those things where if the band has something new come out, it'll email you, and you'll get a notification if you have the app on your phone. And that's another thing too is they do have an app, so that app allows you to listen to not only the people that you have bought, but a lot of these songs you can listen to them at any time, as long as I believe you have to follow the band, perhaps. Might not. I mean, you really might not have to follow them, but the app is really nice too. And with the Scrobbler that I have, it scrobbles that stuff anyways. I'm a big fan of the scrobbling, just to, again, because Last FM is so nice with the tracking, but that's another topic that I've already talked about. So, but yeah, so you can follow the band's wish list. You can put it, just like any other site has a wish list, like Amazon, whatever. Same thing. So, definitely worth your time if you're looking for good music or any music, that whatever. So that's all I got for today. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you like my stuff, like what I do, subscribing is always welcome. And you folks have a good one.